I have been seeing these favorite products of June, favorite products of the month for a little while now, and I really love watching them, and I thought it would be fun to do my own. However, I really haven't been keeping track of that in June, so I started thinking about what some of my favorite things have been for the first half of the year, and I think that's what I'm gonna do first half of the year. Now, that is not a lot because I do tend to use the same products over and over, and it's not all products. So I'm gonna talk about a couple products and a couple books, an app, a TV show, and an online course. So if you're interested in seeing what my favorites for the first half of 2020 were, then keep watching. This category I kind of want to talk about is food. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this Breyers Carb Smart fudge bars. They also have, I think, a caramel one, and I've seen it's like a vanilla with a chocolate coating in this Carb Smart. They are low calorie, 60 calories, and they have 10 carbs, 1 gram of protein, 2 grams of sugar. So really low sugar. And I think these taste really, really good. So this has been one of my favorite treats so far this year. And there's that. Other than that, the other two foods that I think I would put on the list right now are cherries and tomatoes. For some reason, this year's, I guess they're in season. And this year they have been so good. The tomatoes are just so good and fresh tasting. The cherries are so sweet. So if you haven't bought any cherries this summer, I highly suggest you do. The next product I have, now I am not a hair or beauty or anything like that expert, but I do have curly hair that I straighten. It gets really frizzy. And it's also, even though I have a lot of hair, the strands themselves are thin, so it gets weighted down very easily. So I have to be very thoughtful on what product I use and how much. So this is, I don't even know if you're gonna say, Too Chic Ultra Revive Super Potion Anti-Frizz Hair Serum. So I love this serum. It's extremely lightweight. It smells really good, almost kind of like tropical. It says pineapple and ginger, so I guess that's the pineapple I'm smelling. And I have just really loved this. So I think for me, having fine hair, I think it's a good option. The next thing I actually bought these shoes. This is kind of a silly thing, but I bought these shoes on Amazon. I have wide feet, and it's really hard for me to find comfortable shoes. So I found these cute little shoes. I actually bought them in a couple different colors. I got these black. They have this stretchy back, Chucks. I was just drawing a blank here. But these are, I think, around $25. And I wanted to try them because, like I said, I have wide feet, and a lot of times, I get pinched right here. So these are super comfy. I would not recommend these for long walks, because when I was walking around for a long time, I did notice it kind of hurt right here, almost like I was walking without a shoe, because it does have a little memory foam in here, but it is a very thin, flexible shoe. So I don't know that I would recommend these for going on long walks. I feel like these are good for everyday regular wear, but if you were going to exercise or, whatever, I would put on obviously a sneaker. But I think for the price, I will try to, I'll try to insert a picture of them on. Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't have super cute feet, but these shoes are really cute. I love them. Super comfy, just easy to kind of slip on and off. Love them. All right, the next thing I want to talk about are the books that I read. I'm not going to tell you all the books I read at the beginning of the year. I actually read a record number of books this year, being in quarantine. I don't even know how many I've read so far. I was keeping track in Goodreads, and then I think I've forgotten to scan in the last several. So, but 2 books really stood out in my mind. They are both kind of in the psychological thriller / horror type genre. The first one is The One by John Mars. This book actually was published, I don't know, a few years ago. It's not a new book. However, I just discovered it because they are, I believe, making, I think it's Netflix, either a series or a movie out of it. And this book was extremely interesting. It says a simple DNA test is all it takes, just a quick mouth swab, and soon you'll be matched with your perfect partner, the one you're genetically made for. So this book talks about different couples that are matched via this DNA test, and has some twists and turns. This is definitely one of the best psychological thrillers I've ever read, and it was one of the best books I've read this year. So the other book I am giving a thumbs up to is Hell House, which if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen my little story about this. This book is written by Richard Matheson, who also wrote I Am Legend. I can't even think. There's some other books. If you look them up, you'll see that books that were turned into movies, so you've probably heard of them. In any case, this was kind of a horror story slash ghost story, I guess. And it kind of freaked me out. I definitely was a little spooked that night, and I don't get scared, so I thought that was a really good one. I got 2 thumbs up for that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is kind of like in the pet category. So my dog is older. He takes pills on a daily basis, and he previous to this year, he was not taking pills on a daily basis. It was just sporadically. And so we would always try to hide the pills in like cheese, peanut butter, hot dogs. But he was getting to the point where he was just finding it every time, eating the food, spitting out the pill. And it was such a hassle. Every pill was like a fight. You had to make sure it wasn't like on the floor afterwards. So I had tried pill pockets in the past that they just didn't work. But I found these, and I actually bought a case of these on Amazon. Came with like multiple bags. I found these, and these have been the perfect solution. He eats this. We never get the pills spit back out. If you've never used pill pockets to give your pet pills, I highly recommend you do. It's like squishy, so you put the pill in and then you squish it closed right here. Like pinch it closed. So you just stick the pill right in, and then we pinch the holes closed, and he just eats the whole thing whole. So, yeah, so those have been a lifesaver. The other, I don't know if you consider this a pet product, a family product, a novelty product, was this book that I ordered. Honestly, I might have ordered this right around Christmas because that's when the ads pop up, but yeah, the kids have enjoyed reading this, and I just love it. I think it's a great keepsake. And yeah, this is Pork Chop's Adventures in Petlandia. So the whole thing is kind of personalized with his name, and then you choose to make the dog look like your dog as close as you can. And then you can also, like, my name's in here. So my name's mentioned throughout the story too. But yeah, I just think this book is super cute. It was kind of pricey considering it's paperback. I do wish the cover was hardcover, but it's still a super cute book. And I think it's a great gift for families who have like a new pet or an older pet. It's just a really good gift, I think, for pet owners, pet lovers. The other things that I want to talk about, I did have 2 other things to show you, I guess. I'll show you those first. So I got these Energel Clena, C-L-E-N-A pens. I got them in the 0.5 and in the 0.3. I don't like the 0.3, but I typically don't like that. Usually my preference is a 0.5. So I got these I actually just got these on Amazon. Is that gonna focus? Probably not. Come on now. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a good gel pen, and I really like it. It's really, really lightweight and has like a comfortable to write with body. This is like a little rubbery, so that is my recommended pen. And then the other item is kind of a weird thing. It's probably gonna seem weird, but needless to say, it's going on the list. So these were sold at Five Below, which if you don't have a local Five Below, you can order online there, at least in the United States. I don't know about elsewhere, but These are little stools, but I have been using them as little stands. You could use this as a plant stand. I have one in the bathroom next to the bathtub where I set like a drink and my phone on. I have one right here. This is one that came out of a different room, but we just like use it. I've set my laptop on it when I was sitting at the computer, or at the computer, on the couch. I have one on the side here with my drink right now. So yeah, I just think this was only $5. It's extremely lightweight. It is considered a stool, so I have not tried to sit on this, but the kids have, and it's been no issue. It does feel pretty strong. It's not like, I don't think if I sat on this, it's gonna break, but I'm not a tiny thing, so I just haven't. Also, I don't have any reason to sit on it, but yeah, I just think they're great because you can stick them away. I mean, they stack up, so you could have some extra ones. Yeah, I've just found them to be really good for $5. They would also be great on like a porch with plants on it or something like that. So those are all the products, like tangible products. The other things that I wanted to mention were TV show. The TV show I loved this year came out in like January, and I am desperately waiting for a season 2. It was The L Word, Generation Q. If you were a fan of the original, The L Word, you would love this show. Even if not, I think it's more like geared toward millennials. Or, I mean, I don't know. Actually, I think that based on like the ages and what's happening with their lives, but I could be wrong. Could be geared to even younger than that. I don't know. It is not as intense as The L Word. I will put that out there. I didn't think it was is as intense. They definitely, the characters are very likable and addressing some real issues, but I don't know, it just had a different feel than the original one. So I don't know, I just loved it though. I love all the characters. I'm like dying to know what happens. I love that they brought back old characters from The L Word. So yeah, that's been my show for the year that I loved. An app that I would recommend. I have been using this app called Bumble. Bumble has 3 different categories. One's for dating, one's for networking, and one's for finding friends, like just like friends. And I have been using the friends one, and once we're able to get out, I will probably start using the networking one as well. I have never used the dating one, obviously. I'm married, but you can choose which segments of it you want to use. I've been using the friends one and have found it like to be really enjoyable just to meet different people. I have met several people that I'm like casually kind of acquainted with now. And also met somebody that I talk with very regularly that I would consider a friend. Like I would consider them my friend even though we haven't met, which is a little odd, but it's, you know, quarantine, so what do you do? Yeah, so I would recommend if you're looking at networking or meeting friends that it would be a good app to use. And I don't know about dating. I can't make a recommendation on that. So I will say if you try it and in your city there aren't a lot of people on it, try it again a while later, because I tried it a few years ago and there was hardly anyone in Charleston, South Carolina area on there. And I like ditched it. And then I just decided to give it a try again when quarantine kind of took an effect here. And all of a sudden there was a lot more people. Still not tons, but a lot more. And I'm hoping that like people continue to join. So that's that. And the last thing I wanted to mention as a favorite of 2020 was an online course. It's called Publish and Thrive. This course is for people who want to independently publish, self-publish books. The course is offered by an indie author named Sarah Cannon, who actually lives here locally. Well, first of all, she's a highly successful indie author, but also she is just like a fantastic person, offers her advice, her wisdom, her knowledge, her experience to others for free on her YouTube channel. But then she also has this paid course where you can get in-depth detail, answers, and support on publishing your own book. And I definitely could have done all the research myself. I could have Sorry, I have something on my glasses that's bothering me. I could have done all the research myself. I could have looked up everything myself. I could have found all this information myself. It would have taken me a lot of time, a lot of frustration. And I mean, honestly, it would have been so overwhelming and off-putting because I do have other jobs, and it's like, it would have taken me forever to get all that information and to get the right answers. And I would have made a lot of mistakes. I would have done some things wrong. And not that I'm not going to still do things wrong or make mistakes, but I have a lot more knowledge base from this course. And I am a person who is extremely, like, I feel like if you could figure something out yourself, if you could do something yourself, why would you ever pay somebody else? So I'm very picky about, you know, especially when if it's like $10, $15, so sure, I'll give a course a try. But generally speaking, my experience has been when you pay for online courses or things like that, you don't get the value of the money. And I personally think that this course is way underpriced for what you get. She has videos, workbooks. There's a Facebook group. She just offers support. You can reach out and ask her questions. She does like a live question and answer every week. I think it's every week. I don't want to speak too much, but it's just like an all-encompassing, full-on support. So if you're interested in self-publishing a book, I think it is, I mean, I personally think I'm in some author groups on Facebook, independent author, writer groups, and a lot of times I'll see people asking so many questions about how to do this or how to do that, and they're so ill-informed, and it is hard to gather all the information because you have to go to each, you know, like platform where you might publish. You have to look up this, you have to look up that. You got to gather so much information to put together to try to figure out a game plan, that to just have this information there in one place for me, somebody's already done the research. Of course, I have to read all the terms of service and everything for all these platforms myself because one, things change every day, and two, it's my responsibility to, you know, be responsible for what I'm doing. But to just have that kind of explanation and knowledge of this stuff up front to know what I'm looking for is, to me, priceless. And I don't think right now I'm kind of on track to self-publish my first book sometime at the end of this year. Right now it's looking at like maybe November. Not exactly sure yet because I have to wait for it to go through the editing process and whatnot. So it's looking like November, and I would not be on that track at all without this course. I just wouldn't. I would still be like, what the heck do I do? Or I would have just like thrown it up somewhere, like just not well done. It has definitely made me kind of slow down and be like, okay, I want to do this the right way. I want to, you know, which is a good thing. I needed that. I have a full-time job and I have 2 part-time jobs, or really one's a part-time job and one is like independent contractor work, but I have other jobs and responsibilities. And to even have had the time to write the book was a lot for me, to carve out that time. And I honestly just didn't have the time or the will to research all this because I'm like tired, you know, of after doing all the other stuff. I'm not like physically tired, but just like I can't be on the computer anymore. I can't, you know. Anyway, I just want to shut my brain off at some point, and just to be able to just take that information from her in small chunks. Anyway, I've been talking about this course for about 5 minutes, so you're probably like, I have no interest in self-publishing, so it's irrelevant to me, and if so, I'm sorry, but if you know anybody that is, I'd highly recommend it. So anyway, for everything that I've mentioned, I'm going to try to do links so that if you're interested in checking it out, I don't know if I have links for every single thing, because, for example, like that little $5 stool might not even be in sale right now. Yeah, so I will try to do links for whatever I can below. And otherwise, thank you for watching. I know a lot of these videos, they show a lot of stuff, and I didn't have a lot of stuff to show. It was more me talking, so it's kind of different. But hopefully you got something out of it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and drop below what your favorite product of 2020 2020 has been for the first half of the year so far. What's your favorite product or service or, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.